Hey, what the fuck is up, YouTube? We're jumping into our U.S. segment here, just talking about those dirty, dastardly neoliberals. You fingered foul fruit, friend. Quote from The Tick. Wanted to jump into this story right off the bat. Things are a little scattered on this. I meant to organize this for the start of the show, so we might be jumping around a little bit. Might get a couple random Trump articles might show up here. Meant to group them together. But so this is America according to the right wingers, right? Corrupt, sell your country out to the highest bidder, right wing politics, right? And it's not like the left wing is much better, but the left wing would do something about it. I believe neoliberals would do something about this, whereas right wingers are like, hey, well, you signed on the bottom line, Daddy. There you go. I'm just gonna go cash my paycheck there. Give me some grits. I don't know. They're all Southern. All the right wing Republicans are all Southern.
Was your well.
But so all the Saudi-owned farms in Arizona were negotiated, sold, and approved by the Republican legislator who refused to listen about the environmental impact they would have. Arizona still has Republican majorities in Congress. So what the hell am I talking about? What's going on? The Republicans sold water rights to these Saudi-owned farms. They do alfalfa, I believe, and they ship it back to Saudi Arabia. It's like for their own farming. Right. And they farm the alfalfa here because unlike every other place that they want to go to, Republicans are like, use as much water as you want. Go nuts. No limitations whatsoever. Drain the rivers. We don't care. And this is the end result of that kind of hyper corrupt politics.
Well,
this was
your well.
This was my well.
And now you got nothing.
Nothing but dust.
Arizona cattle rancher Brad Mead says he...
Draven, yeah, you're talking about at the end of the Afghanistan war when America was pulling out, Joe Biden approved one last little massacre and killed a guy who was actually pro-American and a bunch of kids who were surrounding the van, right? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. No, these neoliberals are insufferable, okay? You know, they need to be primaried and replaced, okay?
His well went dry.
You can toss a rock in it, it's gone.
Because of his neighbor's farm down the road. It's run by Fondamonte, owned by one of the largest dairy companies in Saudi Arabia. It grows alfalfa here to feed cattle back in the Middle East. It's illegal to grow it in Saudi Arabia because it uses so much water.
So when you look out there and you...
This is Arizona, by the way, okay? These are areas that are built in deserts, almost, in some cases. In some cases, yes, straight up deserts. In some cases, like desert adjacent, right?
See all that green. What do you think?
I see money leaving America. I see water.
So who are you going to vote for in the next election, sir? 100, right down the ticket, right wing. I love me some right wing. I love them. My daddy voted Republican. I'm a vote Republican. Right? Maybe that's not the case. Sometimes these guys, farmers especially, sometimes like veterans and farmers, sometimes will surprise you when they're not pro-Republican. You're like, oh, you actually do exist. But all too often we see guys like this. I'm a victim. Look at this. They're ruining America. Okay. Are you going to change your voting habits? Not one bit.
Getting depleted.
It's pure insanity.
Arizona Attorney General
Sometimes.
Chris Mays, a Democrat, says Fondamonte bought vast tracts of land in western Arizona where there are no regulations on how much water can be pumped out of the ground.
Insane.
So the state doesn't monitor it.
Insane.
Fondamonte also leases thousands of acres from the state itself. Deals approved by state officials no longer in office. Fondamonte pays nothing for the water itself.
We cannot afford to give our water away, frankly, to anyone, let alone the Saudis, for free.
So cows in Saudi Arabia are essentially drinking Arizona water.
Correct.
The scale of the problem is obvious from above.
I mean, that is a lot of green down there.
Using millions upon millions of gallons of precious groundwater.
Mays says Arizona's cities, including Phoenix, will need that water as they face potentially drastic cuts from the drought-ravaged Colorado River. Fondamonte declined our request for an interview. What it's doing here is not illegal, But Mays wants the leases on state land canceled, and Arizona's legislature is now considering a ban on foreign-owned farms.
Free speech. What about their free speech? Free speech. Free speech. Says the bad actor who doesn't live in Arizona, probably. I'm emulating what your average right winger would say. You know, you post this on social media, you're like, well, here's an obvious, thing that shows how corrupt right wingers are. And then right wingers on social media immediately start gaslighting. Oh, that's not it. You don't believe your lying eyes. This is because the Democrats. This never ends. Never ends. This is a funny one. This is fucking hilarious. This is great. These fucking hypocrites are the best. Are they not? They're just absolute circus clowns. Here we go. GOP, this is great. GOP City Council member Matthew Riley of Cranston, I don't know, was arrested after he was found behind the wheel, passed out, holding a crack pipe with crack and fentanyl in the car. Yeah, Draven's low, sure. But what we shouldn't do is fall into the same trap that our political enemies are falling into by oversimplifying, overgeneralizing, and not injecting any kind of nuance into the debate. And why do we need nuance? Because we are standing. This is politics. This is the realm of telling people how to live their lives. We're trying to formulate policy. We're trying to formulate solutions to these problems. And you can't formulate solutions if you're just la, both sides are bad, and you're just generalizing and say, yeah, both sides are corrupt and blah, blah, blah. And like, we could just have the same kind of solution for both sides. That's not the case. We need to identify the problem, and we need to attack it appropriately instead of, generalizing to the point where we don't even understand what's happening around us. And the right does it. The left doesn't need to. We're better than this. Anyway, crackhead congressman placards for his desk with the crack pipe. Look at this, dude. Look at this. He had like his door open. I don't know if the cop opened the door or if his door was open, but look at this dude pass the fuck out in his business suit, right? And look, in one hand he's got a lighter, and then in the other hand here, the cop picks up his hand there, and you could see it. You could see there's like a crack pipe or something in his hand, in his fucking hand. Let's see if we can get some audio on this.
This body camera video shows City Councilman Matthew Riley passed out cold in his car Monday afternoon.
Yeah, Draven's low. That is definitely a big part of the problem. No doubt about it.
After a few shakes from police, he jolts awake.
You were literally choking in your sleep. Somebody flagged me down about it.
Oh, I have sleep apnea. I'm sorry.
Well, and then you have a crack pipe in your hands.
This afternoon, Mayor Ken Hopkins joined the City Council president and the Cranston Democratic Committee in publicly calling.
I mean, yeah, absolutely, Davey. I mean, if George Santos gets to keep his job, what the fuck is wrong here? What? Why not just have a 16-year-old runaway in the back seat too?
For Riley's resignation from City Council Ward 6.
I feel that's in the best interest of the city, his constituents.
Now, this is interesting. So this does contradict what you're saying, Davey, but I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying, but this is interesting. I guess this was even too far for this guy here, huh? The actual Republican calling for him to resign. Will he do it?
I also feel that personally it's in his best interest for him, for his family's privacy, and for the constituents of Ward 6.
Body camera footage shows Riley asking if he's going to be arrested.
Are there any drugs in the car or anything like that?
No, nothing.
An apparent lie. According to the police report, officers say they found crack laced with fentanyl along with other drug paraphernalia while searching his car.
I think there's a little bit of fentanyl in there.
Yeah, all right.
Riley telling police,
It was a relapse. I think 13 years.
All right.
Just went through a really, really bad divorce.
And look, I'm a lefty. Smoke crack, smoke fentanyl, smoke some fucking shit. Do what you want. The problem is that this guy is throwing black and brown people in jail, poor people in jail for doing the exact same fucking thing. This guy, you see these terrible pictures, right, of these parents like passed out in the car with their kid in the car seat, right, and they're they're addicted to drugs and their kid is just sitting there oblivious to what's happening. And these right-wing Republicans, yeah, we gotta tough on drugs. We gotta fuck them up. We gotta get hard on them. Yeah. This guy needs treatment. He needs help. He needs assistance. And what does he vote for? And what does he propose for people that are in the exact same position that he's in? Jail time, wages garnished, treat you like inhuman scum. That's the problem. Is that once again, they're raging, unapologetic fucking hypocrites, right? That's the problem. Goes right back to what Sart says, man. Motherfucking genius. There you go. Pretty funny. Woke Patriot was nice enough to post this in the Discord, and I thought this was appropriate. It was Malcolm X's birthday, I think, yesterday, May 19th. Yeah, I think this was yesterday. Was Malcolm X's birthday, and I thought this would be a good opportunity for Malcolm X to talk about liberals, and because this is a common thing we're constantly talking about here. How it's not the people like you or me who are like, yeah, maybe I fit in this box, maybe not. These are my principles. It's the people that are like, I'm a proud Democrat. I'm a proud MSNBC watching neoliberal, and I think the solution is more status quo. These are the people that Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were warning us about. The white moderate, the one that would prefer a violent status quo, a violent peace over real liberty. I'm butchering the quote from Martin Luther King, but they would prefer it's if the status quo, if everybody is quiet, but people are being exploited and victimized, that's okay, right? But if people are being loud, you gotta be quiet. If you're being victimized, you're not allowed to march about it. You're not allowed to be talking about it. You got to come to us and give us an opportunity to reject everything that you say in a nice, civil manner. And that's the only way we can make progress, is if you just keep your voice down. These people suck, and they're actually extremely dangerous to our democracy. And of course, brilliant people like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X eloquently identified it. So let's get this quote here.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox, and a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming.
No,
you know what he's up to, but the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling, and you take him for a friend. There are many white.
Yeah. Dravenslow, no, I don't. And it doesn't matter. The Democrats are pretty set on not even having a primary. So they're not even going to show up to the debates. And MSNBC and all the rest of the talking heads on mainstream media will be like, that's actually a smart strategy. Joe Biden's team's really smart for not showing up to a debate. The less Joe Biden talks about stuff, the more popular he is. It's that Hillary Clinton strategy. One more quote, one more little segment here from Malcolm X.
You feel, however, that we're making progress in this.
So he's being asked, are you making progress?
You feel, however, that we're making progress in this country and worldwide?
No. I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. If you pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made. They won't even admit the knife is there.
Yeah, no, this is from 100 years ago. Come on, man, this isn't relevant. Oh, what are you talking about? Republicans are in an active gaslighting campaign to say racism doesn't exist. Racism doesn't exist to such an extent we don't even need to teach it in schools. We are so anti-racist. We're literally going to wipe history clean of evidence of our racism. That's how anti-racist we are. And of course, what they're doing is perpetuating racism. Some understand what they're doing, some don't, but that is the end result, which is, hey, person of color, know your place. Know your place on the hierarchy. That's what it's about. So what is the 14th Amendment? What is this about? It's frustrating, but the Democrats and the Republicans pretend every, it's like every 2 years or so when this debt ceiling debate comes up, they pretend that it's a big crisis and, oh, we're going to do it this time. We're going to let the country go bankrupt. And then they get together in the 14th hour, the last minute, and they do a big compromise. And the neoliberal left will sign off on a bunch of corporate tax cuts and cuts to Medicare and Social Security and cuts to all these other programs, right? That we had no choice. We just had no choice but to further whittle away at these social programs so that we can keep the dollar, the U.S. dollar solvent, and we can keep the U.S. economy growing and not literally wreck the entire global economy in the process, right? We had no choice, guys. The Republicans got us in a rock and a hard place. So there's something called the 14th Amendment that actually says you're not allowed to fuck with America's standing geopolitically when it comes to the economy. You're not allowed to just ruin America's good name. The credit and faith of the U.S. dollar, right? You're not allowed to fuck with that. The U.S. will always pay its debts, will always pay its bills, and no single individual is allowed to get in the way of that. No party, no individual is legally allowed to, stop America's ability to pay its bills, right? It's that important. It's literally in the Constitution, the 14th Amendment. So Biden could actually just, he could wave his bony fingers and actually, no, it's never been done before, right? It would be all kinds of like new territory, but he could just say, okay, no more debt ceiling debate. This is not, we're not debating this. You're paying the bill and we're moving on with our lives. Like kind of authoritarian style, right? He would have to invoke the amendment and there'd be a legal process, but he could basically say, no, you don't get a democratic decision on this one, Republicans. But they don't do this. They don't do why? Or tradition? Oh, no. It's because their donors, the people that support the neoliberal left, the Democrats, are corporatists, and they support both sides, right? They support the left politicians and the right politicians. They fill their coffers. They want those tax cuts, right? And that's why they're playing both sides. So the Democrats see this as a great opportunity to do exactly what their paymasters want: cut taxes, cut social services, make it, who knows, like make all kinds of things illegal, right? Unionizing, make it harder to unionize, whatever you want, right? Guys, we just had no choice. We wanted to be progressive. We wanted to be the good guys, but we had to compromise. And you know how much we love bipartisanship. It's a game, it's a theater, it's a show, it's a play that they put on every couple years. Oh no, we're about to lose everything. Literally everything. We're about to enter Mad Max world. The purge has started. Oh, woo! At the last minute. Oh boy. Saved it. Just had to give Jeff Bezos a massive tax cut to do it. And then they move on with their lives. Oh, we lost another. It got us again. Moving on. Don't buy it. Don't believe the hype. They have the ability. The laws are there. They're not being enforced, and they're being selectively enforced. That's why Joe Biden picks mediocre milquetoast featherweights like Merrick Garland to go after one of the most seditious, traitorous individuals America has ever produced, Donald Trump. Right? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I can't. Can we throw a president in jail? Is a president a citizen or a king? Oh, I don't know. Just don't believe the hype. Replace these fucking fools before fascism rolls them over, right? Mitch McConnell, why would you betray me? Is what they'll be saying. I thought we were friends. You've heard, everyone is fucking talking about this. I only just wanted to mention it so that I mentioned it, and then I can move on. Disney pulls the plug on the $1 billion development in Florida, some kind of office complex or something. I've already mentioned in a previous segment, I don't know who I want to win. I fucking hate Disney. I hate what they're doing to media. I hate the stories that they tell. I hate the movies that they make. I hate their fucking theme parks. I hate their politics, right? I hate it when they buy, media companies and properties and then they Disneyfy them. I hate it. Some of the video games, some Disney video games are pretty cool. Okay, I know I'm a hypocrite too. Yeah, check out some of that 16-bit Disney game action from the 16-bit era. Okay, Aladdin, shut the fuck up. Aladdin, Pocahontas had amazing pixel art. The gameplay not so good. The Mickey Mouse games, right? The Mickey Mouse in the fucking the two Mickey Mouse games. There's actually three. There was one released in Japan. Okay, but Disney sucks. Disney sucks. Disney sucks. And Ron DeSantis sucks. Davey, where's my moderator? I'm the only moderator. I need to get a moderator. Davey, I'm going to make you a moderator, and then you need to time yourself out. Can't believe you would say some shit like that. A lot of Disney video games are total ass, though. It's true. That's 16-bit. Aladdin on the 16-bit? Oh, man, Aladdin. Bro, Aladdin on the Sega Genesis and on the Super Nintendo, they're different games. Kind of the same, but different. Really good. Really good. All right. Moving on. Fuck Disney, fuck Ron DeSantis, and FML, fuck my life. Who the fuck do I pick in this battle? I don't pick anybody. Just fucking destroy yourselves, please. Just destroy each other. And leave us the hell alone, Disney. Ron DeSantis. This is great news. Dancers at an LA bar to become unionized. I wanted to put this in the activist showcase. And actually that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this article is actually going to, because this is going to be one of the activist showcases. Yeah, Dravensoul, but look, you need to be able to say, okay, both of these parties are captured by moneyed interests, but they do their politics in very different ways. They're effective and ineffective in different ways. If you are going to be proposing policy, like, okay, this policy is the right policy. We need single-payer healthcare. We need college education for all. If you're going to be proposing these policies, you need to understand how these parties are going to be, affected by this, or how they're going to introduce this legislation, or how they're going to push, importantly, how they're going to push back on it. The left needs to avoid oversimplifying, overgeneralizing everything. It's way too tempting to just go, they're a bunch of hicks, they're all corrupt, and check out that. Tens of millions of Americans in this country have completely checked out of politics for that very reason. Right? Oh, both sides bad, checked out. And where has that gotten us? Right? So anyway, these women are amazing. First strip club, I think, in America ever to unionize. First strip club in America to unionize. And we're going to watch this video for political and science purposes. There is no other motivation I have for showing you this gaggle of strippers celebrating a win. There's no other reason. We have no audio. What is that? Where's those booty shorts? Ooh, look at the booty shorts. Look at the booty shorts. Damn. Got no audio. All right, let me get my music again then. Hold on. But yeah, dancers at a LA bar, unionized, safety for strippers. Dancers at LA bar could soon join the Actors Equity Association labor union. Soon? I thought they already accomplished this. They're celebrating, so they won something.
This accomplishment is absolutely the best thing that I've ever achieved in my life. It's huge. It's monumental and historic. It feels very surreal.
Astro Worker, you're never going to get a proper blowjob with that incel style attitude. You're over here, oh, they're a bunch of whores. Yeah, enjoy your dry dick and terrible sex with a woman that hates your guts. Okay? Astral Warrior, and enjoy your time out as well.
Feels like the most important work I've ever done.
It is so exciting. It's crazy that there hasn't been a union strip club in 25 years. It feels like an industry that really needs it.
Bethesda sucks. Nintendo treats its fans like garbage, and Rockstar
I was fired for.
And Rockstar does nothing but suck money out of people's wallets instead of making the amazing single player experiences that we all know that they can make. You literally listed some of the grossest video game companies. You listed 3 of the grossest video game companies. Nintendo just sued a modder. A person who modded the Twitch for so much money, he's gonna have to pay them tens of thousands of dollars for the rest of his life. And Nintendo's okay with that. A-okay with that. Let's sue our, oh, he hacked the Switch. Oh no, he hacked the Switch. Let's literally destroy his life. Fuck Nintendo, dude. And Bethesda over here, taking the masterpiece of Fallout and then slowly chipping away and making it into a Fallout 4, which was a shadow of what Fallout was capable of. And Rockstar over here, here's another pay-to-win mechanic for Grand Theft Auto 5. Get out of here, man.
For bringing up safety concerns to the management.
Not respecting our boundaries, inappropriate.
What is this necklace? Fallout 4 was a mediocre shadow of what Fallout is potential. It has the potential of. The opening to that game says everything. You get you lit 5 seconds into the game, you got a chain gun and you're fighting a death claw, right? And then another 20 hours later, do you get back? Come on, the whole thing was a joke, man. Joke. The dialogue trees in Fallout 4, joke, dude. The building mechanics almost completely pointless. All you need to do is a couple tricks, right? All you need is one settlement, and you build a couple turrets in a specific place where the enemies are they pathfind the exact same location every single time. That's that whole mechanic. There's no value in taking other settlements. Fallout 4 sucks. I will die on this hill. Fallout 4 is a joke. And don't even get me started on 76. Don't even start. I will.
Touching
I will
and
put on my Velveeta
touching
necklace.
on stage and in the lap dance area that we didn't approve of, and it was uncomfortable.
Yeah. So what she's talking about is, this is actually a really common thing in strip clubs. They, hey, the customers would really prefer if you'd let them touch you in the VIP, and hey, you should give some blowjobs, you know what I mean? Get some extra dough going, keep it all, hush hush. Is Fallout 4 the worst game in the world? Absolutely not. If you enjoy it, that's great. Is Fallout 4 a good Fallout game? Hell no! Hell no! And I don't even need to bring up New Vegas. Let's talk about Fallout 2 in terms of writing, in terms of dialogue trees.
Boundaries, inappropriate touching, and touching on stage and in the lap dance area that we didn't approve of, and it was uncomfortable.
Fallout 1, amazing. Fallout 2, even more amazing. Fallout Tactics, you can skip. Fallout 3, okay. Fallout New Vegas, absolutely amazing. Don't skip. Super goat. Fallout 4, Fallout 76, dumpster that shit. That's the tier list, boys. All right, congrats to those strippers, and we're going to be showing that story again when I do another activist showcase. Congratulations.
Feels very
to these,
surreal. It feels
these strong women, these beautiful women, that are demanding human rights, and they're getting them. I love to see it. More power to them. Moving on. So one of Trump's attorneys quit recently, and there's all kind of, mystery as to why. Well, okay, we got another Trump lawyer jumping ship. What could be the reason? So some are speculating this. So this is from CNN. A tweet by Omar Riviero. I'm not sure who that is. Excuse me. Breaking. CNN drops bombshell, reviews that the National Archives just notified special counsel. Whoa, that's loud. Sorry. There we go. That the National Archives just notified special counsel Jack Smith that the Justice Department that it has quote unquote critical evidence, including a whopping 16 incriminating records that could land Trump in prison because they quote prove that Donald Trump knew that it was illegal to quote declassify. This is so Trump. It was illegal to declassify top secret documents by simply declaring them classified. He literally did a Michael Scott from The Office. You know, he walks out of his office. I declare bankruptcy. I declare bankruptcy. I declare bankruptcy. You know, the one guy's like, you know, you need to actually go to the bank. You don't actually declare bankruptcy. You don't just walk out of a room and declare bankruptcy. There's a new Rudy lawsuit? No, I did not see that. I did not see the new Rudy lawsuit. Oh, what did he do? Shart in someone's salad? I can't make fun of Rudy. Look, we're all going to get old, and let me tell you, the older you get, the looser those bowels get. So I'm not, you know. It's just a little spice on top of the shit sundae of Rudy Giuliani, his incontinence. To finish the tweet here, the recorded communications are between the National Archives and Trump himself and, quote, top Trump staffers. CNN reports that the, quote, 16 presidential records, which were subpoenaed earlier this year, may provide critical evidence establishing the former president's awareness of the declassification process, a key part of the criminal investigation into Trump's mishandling of classified documents. Why is this even investigated? It's well known that you're not allowed to just claim stupidity. I didn't know breaking and entering was against the law. I walk into my friend's house all the time. I had no idea it was illegal for me to just break into someone's house. Oh, that's against the law. I'll never do it again. Right? You can't claim ignorance of the law as a reason, you know, as the excuse is, you know, you can't. It doesn't work legally. So why is this even a question? Why does Trump get special treatment? We all know the reason why, but I mean, come on, it's embarrassing. Oh, I didn't know. Go take and classify documents illegal? Last little bit of the tweet here. CNN continues declaring that the recordings, quote, may also provide insight into Trump's intent and whether he willfully disregarded what he knew to be clearly established protocols, according to a source familiar with recent testimony provided to the grand jury by former top Trump officials. Is this motherfucker going to go to jail? I am so tired. I mean, just... What does it take? What does it take, dude? Do we need the PP tape? Do we just need a sex scandal? We've had 2 so far. 2. Draven's Lowell over here with a Reuters article talking about this new Rudy Giuliani lawsuit. I didn't hear about it, but... Oh my... Ew! Rudy Giuliani sued for $10 million by former aide over alleged sexual assault. Ew. Is it sexual assault to rip a nasty fart and then your intern smells it? Is that sexual assault? A former associate of Rudy Giuliani is suing him for sexual assault, accusing Donald Trump's former personal lawyer of hiring her to fulfill his desire for sexual right. And we see this, dude. These right wingers. We saw this in January 6th. All these aides, right? These aides of these right wingers, fresh out of college, 20-year-old. You know, bang, it's super hot. You know, helping some geriatric 60-year-old write up my papers. You know, Rudy Giuliani over here with a face that looks artificial because of his fake tan. In a civil complaint filed on Monday and seeking at least $10 million, Noelle Dumfrey. Who is this? Who is Noelle Dumfrey? What's she looking like? I got to see. Oh, Rudy. Rudy over here. Oh, Rudy. Rudy, no. Oh no, Rudy. Oh no. Oh no, Rudy, no. Oh, no. No, don't do it to him, Rudy. No. You lecherous old man. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Why are these guys exactly who it's like you look at him, you're like, I bet you he's doing that, you know? Why do they look exactly like you expect them to look? You know what I mean? Oh no. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. She said Giuliani made clear that satisfying his sexual demands was an quote absolute requirement of the job. No. When you're a celebrity, they just let you do it. You just walk up and grab him by the pussy. Right? When you're a celebrity, they just let you do it. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I want to see some of the details. Goodman unequivocally denies the allegations, of course. Blah, blah, blah. Public service, blah, blah, blah. America's mayor. All right. Okay, Dumfries said Giuliani promised to pay her $1 million a year and represent her for free. Oh yeah, that's worth it, dude. I'd pay Rudy Giuliani to never say my name. You know what I mean? He's a legal liability at this point. In separate legal matters concerning domestic abuse, but said he had to defer her pay until he settled his acrimonious divorce from his third wife. He only paid her $12K. These cheapskates, they could live this baller life. They could live this, like, if they just paid these women, dude. If they just, they have the money. He's Rudy Giuliani, dude. He fucking cheaped out on his mistress. He's a politician. One of the most visible politicians, bro. Just give her the money and she'll shut up, bro. Holy shit. Oh, God, no. No, according to Monday's complaint, Giuliani, quote, forced Miss Dumfries to perform. No, to completion. No, he forced to oral sex on Rudy Giuliani. No. Oh, no. Oh, this poor woman. Dumfries also said Giuliani went on alcoholic drenched rants that include sexist, racist, and anti-Semitic remarks. Giuliani presented himself as a generous employer and a hero. The complaint said he was neither. Through this case, Miss Dumfries seeks a measure of justice from a man who thought his power and connections rendered him untouchable. At one point, he was. Type in Rudy Giuliani 2001 or 2002, 2003. SNL, every comedy, every talk show, just bow down to Rudy, dude. He was like America's mayor. Oh, he was at one point totally untouchable. Wow. Yeah, and didn't Rudy Giuliani admit? Isn't that what he said? That's a quote from Rudy Giuliani. Oh yeah, we were taking $2 million. His little rat teeth. Holy shit. Wow. Shocking, disgusting, horrific. Giving a blowjob to Rudy Giuliani. My wife just said, "Oh God." You know what time? Oh, watching the kid. Oh, okay. Can you bring down I need a fan. I am hot. What's that? Yes, I need some Beyonce wind. I'm fierce. I'm feeling fierce, and I need some Beyonce wind. Okay, moving on. You are hot. Gary, so this, all right. You know what? I need to move on. I don't have time to talk about this one. I'm going to put this one on the back burner for next time. Oh, shit. Okay, one second. All right, buddy. Okay. Up to Thank you. Okay. Hey, everybody. This is my son, Zaphoid Beeblebrox. Everyone say hi. Right here, let me get my oh, that fan feels so good. Oh, here we go. Here's my little baby boy. Say hi. Say hi, big guy. Oh, he's wearing his tropical outfit, so there's a little bit of a green screen effect there. Go, buddy. Go, buddy. All right. Oh, get tucked in. Okay, back to business, folks. I don't have time for this one. This is just basically all of the failure of San Francisco to, you know, like I said, you know, we talked about this earlier, actually. Like, the neoliberals are failing LA, they're failing San Francisco, and this is just evidence of that. I was going to get into that, but I don't have time. Let's do that one a little later. Moving on. I wanted to show you this. It's kind of an old school thing to complain about, like waste in the government, right? But it's actually still a major... Wait, what is this? Oh, okay. But it's actually still a major problem. Oh, I don't hear it. That's why. Hold on. Ugh. God, I unplugged my headphones. 1 sec. There we go. But it's actually still a major problem. Waste, fraud, government organizations. Okay. Yeah, government organizations spending way too much money on, you know, like the classic example, like $10,000 for a hammer, right? This stuff is still going on. Right wing, left wing, you know, this is definitely one of those things that's like both sides are totally guilty of letting this problem get completely out of hand. And I just wanted to show a quick clip here from 60 Minutes just to remind everybody, waste and fraud is still a major problem with the U.S. government. They're wasting your money.
A 60 Minutes investigation is exposing price gouging at the Pentagon, and you would be hard-pressed to find a better example than this.
This, Bill, is an oil pressure switch that NASA used to buy. Well, their oil switch, with all of the cabling, costs $328. This oil switch, we paid over $10,000 for it.
A 60 Minutes investigation is exposing price gouging at the Pentagon, and you would be hard.
So the cost of the part in human land, $330. Pentagon pays $10,000.
This oil switch, we paid over $10,000 for it.
Man, look, and this is not an accident, okay? This is because one of the politicians has a friend or has needed a deal, or, you know, some company somebody is associated with the company that's making the switch, and they're making these bids. Oh, it's going to cost this, and the Republicans and the left wingers and the liberals sign off. Oh, yep, okay, that's your proposal, and we sign off for it. This corruption look, we don't have infinite money, and you should be insulted. They're taking money directly from your paycheck and then wasting it on a level that you would, you know, if you had that kind of waste in your life or your company, your ass would be fired and homeless. And these jokes in suits get to blow your cash to, you know, basically hand it away to their buddies, paying $10,000 for an oil switch when it's only $300. It's a scam. You're getting fucking scammed. They're scamming you. Moving on. Right wingers are really uncreative. Like they're just like, they're trying to make these racist arguments as if they are like revelations, you know, like, oh, well, you know, you just didn't see it from my angle. You're just not seeing my blatant bigotry and racism from where I'm coming from, and that's why you think it's racism and bigotry. It's not, though. You just don't understand where I'm coming from. And it's like, no, dude, you know, you're racist. You're assuming that this guy, because he's black, right? He doesn't have, you know, what we're going to see here is this right-wing person in a clown suit, in an almost literal clown suit, okay, basically makes an argument of like, well, you got into Harvard or Yale or whatever because of affirmative action, right? You wouldn't have gotten in there if it wasn't for the color of your skin. And it's like, okay, we're affirmative action, that's a whole other separate debate here, but you are making such a wild and racist assumption here. It's shocking. So this man handles it with grace. He shouldn't have to answer this question. He shouldn't have to deal with this kind of bigotry. But here we are in the halls of government, North Carolina, in the halls of government, this kind of rank racism, everyday racism, just out and proud. Here we go.
Mr. Speaker, can I ask the representative a question?
Representative Jones, does the gentleman yield to a question from the gentleman from Iredell, Representative McNeely?
I absolutely will yield. Yes,
he yields.
Representative Jones, I want to ask you the question is, I understand that you went.
This motherfucker got into his closet, pulled out the motherfucking bozo costume from Halloween, put on the motherfucking worst bow tie I've ever seen in my goddamn life, and struts into the halls of government and says some of the most stupid shit you've ever heard. Look at what the fuck he is wearing. Does this man respect us? He doesn't respect himself. You walking out looking like a cotton candy dandy.
Yes,
he yields.
Representative Jones, I want to ask you the question is, I understand that you went into public school and you went to Harvard and Harvard Law. And the question, I guess, is, would you have been able to maybe achieve this if you were not an athlete or a minority or any of these things, but you were a student trapped in a school that the slowest, in the wild, we'll say the slowest gazelle does not survive, but yet the herd moves at that pace. So the brightest child sometimes is held back. And don't we
point of order? Gentleman may state his point of order.
Okay, I'm hoping I wasn't the only one that got shocked by that comment, that the only reason you went to Harvard is because you were black and an athlete?
No, I did not say that. I said, did that end up being one of the reasons? I do not know that. I asked him this. Right. I asked him this.
Right? He's so tired of it. And what I would say to these neoliberals over here is, if you're tired of it, actually try to, give us a better alternative. Right? Why is this clown winning, legislatively across the United States? Why is this guy winning? Right? And I would ask, because this guy's got a great point. Like, look at the face. Like, what the fuck?
Do not know that.
And like, he's putting the mic down. Like, goddamn, really? And to these neoliberals, I would say, yeah, man, it's just gonna get fucking worse. And just going, ooh, awkward isn't enough. Put these fucking people in jail for the crimes they commit. Right? Stop letting them get away with wearing a suit and being a George Santos and just skating, being a Josh Hawley and supporting an insurrection and no fucking I'm not saying you should be sent to jail for being a fashion genocider, but or being racist. And look at this. It's got some embroidery on the fucking cufflink, man. Look at this. It's just like Guy Fieri's favorite fucking politician, bro. What the fuck? All right? I'm not saying, you should go straight to jail if you're racist. But what I am saying is that there used to be political consequences, right? And what is a political consequence? I don't like what you said. I'm not going to vote for you, right? I don't support you. You don't belong in government. You are shaming this body. You're shaming our government with your ignorance, and you need to go. Step down. His own party should have asked him to step down. What happened to shame? What happened to consequences? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about authoritarianism. Oh, woke liberal. Oh, shut him down, destroy him. He said something I don't like. I'm woke. No, I'm talking about having standards again.
Okay, all right.
I don't mind answering.
Gentleman doesn't answer the question. Sorry, I was reading a note here, so I didn't hear what was.
I apologize, and I'll reframe.
The gentleman from Iredell is no longer recognized. For what purpose, the lady from Wake, Representative Gill, rise. Representative Jones, do you still have the floor, sir, to debate?
I was trying to wrap up.
The gentleman has the floor to wrap up his remarks.
Okay. I just want to say that I'm just going to say one thing. Harvard had 5 rankings for their students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I graduated from Harvard, I was in rank 2. So I earned my place, and I did well. Yeah.
Class Act. Class Act. Fucking Ronald McDonald over here doesn't deserve that amount of respect. You know what I mean? Doesn't deserve that. So an incredible amount of poise and restraint shown to such a blatantly racist. Yeah, exactly, Chem Goblin. Yeah, but such a blatantly racist framing. Oh, I'm not racist. I just think you got here because you're black, and not because not because you're smart. Sometimes gazelles and Anyway, moving on. If you haven't been keeping up with this amazing trans debate happening in Nebraska, sorry, I forgot, brain fart there. Nebraska State Senator Lou Ann Lennon complains filibusters of anti-trans bills made her miss her grandson's preschool graduation. And this amazing senator, Megan Hunt, who's apparently an independent, it's very interesting, she says, "You won't come off this bill that hurts my trans son. You hate him more than you love your own family. That's why you're here." So just an amazing rebuttal to these dishonest bad actor arguments. Oh, you're filibustering the bill. I miss my grandparents. I miss my my little kid's preschool graduation because of you. I had to be here instead of there. Yeah, well, maybe. How about the reason? How about you back off from trying to vilify trans people? The reason why she's doing this is, she said, "Look, we're not getting anything done. I'm filibustering. I'm using every bit of my political power to stop." Yeah, what is a preschool graduation, right? But no, I'm going to use every ounce of my political power to stop this, bigotry. Right, kind of the word of the day, I guess. But she's amazing. I don't know how many people are backing her up, but I know it's not enough. Just the same thing as we saw, I think, in Tennessee, right, with those 2 black lawmakers who were kicked out, and the trans woman who was kicked out. Right, where are the colleagues? Where are the neoliberal colleagues? Oh, they'll do a photo op. They'll get right behind them, and oh yeah, we support you. Really? Because all I'm seeing is crickets coming from these status quo neoliberals. Right, I'm seeing heroes stand up, and I'm seeing a lot of people just kind of, can't stick my neck out today, can't do it now. It's not politically advantageous for me. Yeah, hunt them down. There you go. So anyway, I love her. She's great. Power to her. Fully agree. Keep it coming. Keep it. This is what heals America. This is what heals America. This is what kills fascism. Is this attitude, this kind of passion. These kind of principles, you're standing up for what you believe in. Ironically, it's the fascists who are also standing up for what they believe in, right? Kind of a battle of principles here. I haven't kept up with that. Well, they're trying to pass anti-trans legislation, that would basically make it illegal to be trans. And she's using every ounce of her, instead of other, like other neoliberals who are like, oh, well, we'll kind of fight, push back, but, we don't want to be seen as obstinate, so we're just going to kind of let you trample on LGBTQ people's rights, even though there are some procedural things that we could do to slow this down, but we're not going to. So she's saying, hell no, I'm using every bit of my procedural power to slow this down, even though you guys have a majority, even though the right has a majority. We're not having business as usual. While you're trying to introduce this bill that would otherize trans people. Wanted to point this out because it is pretty amazing to see that even in this climate, even in this hyper-partisan climate, the Republicans are not doing themselves any favors with this woke shit. I mean, they're like, it's for the people where the anti-woke message works, it's really working. But every day it seems that there are more independent-minded people who are still, they lean conservative, right? But they're not down with this circus. You know, they would prefer a Mitt Romney Republican, as gross as that is, over a Donald Trump or even a Ron DeSantis. And Roe v. Wade seemingly is a bigger deal to a lot of Republicans, women, femoid, a lot of Republican women, you know, who are, I don't think they're voting Democrat, but I think what they're doing is they're just not voting. They're just like, yeah, I don't want to have that fight with my husband about abortion because he doesn't understand my body. He's a completely ignorant buffoon. I don't want to have a fight with my husband, but I'm not exactly going to support this, you know, this legislation that's literally like, I'm a woman, I'm not allowed to do what I want with my body legislation, right? Even the most hardcore religious right-wing Republican woman, you know, sometimes they're down with it, but a lot of them are like, man, that's not cool, right? You know, because in a woman's world, the men in your life can sometimes be the victimizers, your uncle, your father, right? Your boss, your brother, right? Sometimes, and it happens in the right-wing world just as much as the left-wing world, that, you know, women become victims, and understanding that having that empathy of the victim is something that I think, you know, even right-wing Republican women have an understanding for. Yeah, Davey, thank you for backing up what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is, you know, abortion seems to be a hotter, more triggering topic, you know, because like the Republicans are like, it was funny, right? They had a big victory with Roe v. Wade, but they didn't really want to brag about it because it was the fight. It was the anti-abortion fight that was bringing people to vote. But now that they won, they're the dog who caught their own tail. They're like, they don't know what to do with it. And they're finding that this legislation that they so proudly put around their neck is starting to hold them down politically, starting to hurt their poll numbers, hurt their electoral ability. You know, can the Republicans change enough laws democratically so that they don't have to worry about elections anymore before their electoral irrelevance hits, right? It's this race to oblivion for the Republicans. They either get to a point where the laws basically just vote them in every time, or they're voted out because democracy still exists and no one's interested in their style of politics. Yeah, Davey, interesting. Thank you for that personal antidote that kind of, you know, is backing up what I'm saying. It's a more complicated topic than I think a lot of people are aware of in the right-wing areas. So I'm sorry, this is the Midas Touch Network. I don't even know what the fuck this is from. I don't know. Now, I thought these guys would giving us like bad stock tips. Now they're doing like anti-Trump shit. I think they're like, maybe they're associated with the Lincoln Project. Anyway, we'll watch a little bit of it, you know, but grain of salt, Midas Touch. I don't understand.
From the Midas Touch Network, and this just in a stunning upset victory for the Democrats. Democratic candidate and former TV anchor Donna Deegan has just defeated the Ron DeSantis endorsed Republican candidate Daniel Davis, who is the CEO of the Jacksonville Chamber of Commerce, in the race for Jacksonville, Florida mayor. This makes Donna Deegan only the second Democrat to win a mayor's race in Jacksonville, Florida in 3 decades, and her opponent had outraised her 4-1. And this from the tributary.
Everyone be really, really quiet. I just put the baby down. See if you'll fall asleep. Everyone be super quiet.
They explain how this is a stunning upset victory in the Jacksonville mayor race. And Deegan, a Democrat, according to the article, campaigned on a promise to be a change maker, railing against the political consultant class, wink, wink, Ron DeSantis, that surrounded Daniel Davis, her opponent, who, as I mentioned, was the CEO of the Jacksonville Chamber of Commerce, and the current mayor, Lenny Curry. Davis was a former city council member and state representative and had been viewed as preparing for this mayor's race as the Republican candidate for about 8 years. And there was supposed to be this essentially fait accompli handoff from Republican Lenny.
Homie, get yourself a motherfucking pop filter. Pop, 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 pop. Get yourself a pop filter. Come on, man. Some Midas Touch Networking. You got gold.
Curry to Davis, and Davis raised a lot of money, over $8 million, and compare that to Deegan's $2.1 million. Some background on Deegan, as written in the Tributary. Deegan is a former First Coast news anchor and the founder of the Donna Foundation, a nonprofit funding breast cancer research and supporting families dealing with breast cancer. She becomes the first woman to make it to a mayoral runoff in Jacksonville history. Jacksonville is the most populous city in the country with a Republican mayor, and under the city's consolidated government, the mayor has extraordinary power that surpasses many of the other cities. And Davis's campaign, again, according to this article, prominently featured Davis standing side by side with Sheriff T.K. Waters, with Davis vowing to increase the number of police officers while cutting city budgets. And also, we should note that there were more Republican voters in this election than Democratic voters, showing that Republicans and independents crossed over to vote for the Democrat Deegan in this election. So that's pretty big.
What? A Democrat won and more Republicans showed up to the election? No.
More Republican voters in this election than Democratic voters, showing that Republicans and independents crossed over to vote for the Democrat Deegan in this election. So that's pretty big. Deegan seems to connect with the people, just talking about common sense and how to deliver actual results for
okay, your chair is gold. Okay, we're done. Thank you so much, Midas Touch Network. I just wanted to touch up on that. I think it's exactly 10 minutes long. We know what you're fucking doing, Midas Touch. We know what you're doing, Midas Touch Network. No, we won't watch the whole video here. If you want to watch the whole video, you're welcome to. The link's right here. But I just wanted to point out that there's some other cases. He probably gets into it, but there are some other cases like both candidates that Ron DeSantis supported lost their elections. So there's some evidence that, even though I keep saying, the Republicans are winning, and there is a lot of cases where they're just slam dunking it, passing legislation, killing trans rights, killing our democracy. Just one terrible fascistic bill after the other. But there's also, we're also seeing this kind of pushback. And I really do feel like the Republican Party is fully aware of this, of what's happening. They are 100% laser beam focused on this. And that's why we see them shamelessly passing pro gerrymandering, laws that, some laws like what we saw in Texas basically say, if we can claim fraud and then we can redo the election if we don't like it. So let me explain what's happening in Texas. Texas just passed a law that says if a voting place runs out of ballot paper, the Republicans can say the election is completely, they have to replace the paper or whatever. But nope. At that point, if a polling place does not have paper, the Republicans can say the entire election is null and void and that they have to redo it. They just passed that law in Texas, right? And guess what's going to happen at these and in Austin and all these other left-leaning locations in Texas? Oh, gee, we just ran out of ballot paper. Oh, Beto O'Rourke looks like he might win. Looks like we ran out of ballot paper. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So it's a big race to oblivion for them. Interesting. They're like scared animals. They're like scared, cornered animals, lashing out and reacting. It's because she's good. Yeah, Davey, that is a good point. That she had celebrity already. She was a news anchor. She had, she had a name. Her family was well respected. Still, though, you got Republicans pulling the lever for Democrats, and maybe it was a lot of women, sure, right? But that's still huge. That's huge. Okay, I wish I could talk about the. Hold on, let me find a better. Hold on here. This is too good to not talk about to skip because of some stupid paywall. Hold on, let me just get a better. Let me get a video on this one. So this is fascinating. This is fascinating. So very similar to, I hate to bring up the fucking, actual real Germanic Nazis, but in one of the techniques that the Nazi Germany, or not, that the Nazis employed when they were still still doing electoral, trying to get voted into their parliament and all that, they employed a parliamentary trick that triggered re-elections every time they just, like the fascists, they just kept redoing elections over and over and over again. And every time the election would run, they would get more and more, people, they would get more and more share of it. And all they had to do was walk out, right? So they were doing a vote. And then if one party just leaves, it triggers a re-election, right? So they kept doing that over and over and over again. And we see something kind of similar in the Oregon Senate, where the GOP walks out. They walk out. They just walk out. Like, oh, we're not going to vote on this. We're not going to vote on that. You're not going to force us to vote on this. So, because liberals will vote in leaders that are left leaning, and they're trying to pass legislation, and the body just says, nope, we don't have to listen to this. We don't have to. Nope, we're done. So in Oregon, they've passed a law that says you're not allowed to run for re-election. You're not allowed to run for re-election if you've walked out a certain amount of times, right? If you just straight up refuse to do your job, you're not allowed to run for re-election. So there's apparently a lot of senators who are being from the GOP that are being disqualified. Isn't this amazing? This is amazing. GOP senators that are being disqualified for obstructing the work of government, right? The number one thing that they love to do, right? Obstruct and oh, I don't know, I'm not going to really listen to the law. Like, you'll pass a law and they just won't listen to it. So this is great. Watch this. More of this, please. More of this. My God, more of this.
Day 10 of the Senate walkout at the state capitol, and today the protest did hit a critical moment. 3 senators now have 10 unexcused absences, which under Measure 113 would disqualify them from running for re-election.
Fox 12's Connor McCarthy live in Salem tonight to tell us what one of those senators is saying tonight about the walkout and the new law.
Let's hear what the senator has to say. Let's see if Davey is totally accurate in that. Oh, it's an unjust law, unjust law. We should be able to obstruct government as long as we want. I thought that was it's the great value Hassan.
Law that could dictate his future in politics.
Well, Pete and Riel, as you know, last week there was hope that the two parties would come together with a compromise to get back to work. I did just get off the phone with a Democratic spokesperson, and she says since that initial phone call between Senator Knopp and Senator Wagner, there were 4 more discussions between the leaders, but it appears over the weekend those negotiations fell apart, and today all Republicans and 1 independent senator walked out in protest. Now, Senator Bonham says that even though he's disqualified to run for re-election under Measure 113, he says he's still planning on running for re-election in 2026.
Then send that motherfucker to jail. Excuse me. If the law's on the book, man, send that motherfucker to jail.
It's a day 10 of gridlock at the Oregon State Capitol with no end in sight.
It is a clear directive from Oregonians to their elected representatives to show up to work and do their constitutional duty.
And I heard you told me to stay in.
Davey, if both sides are doing this to obstruct the work of government, then having a law that would prevent it from just prevent it from creating gridlock that just goes on forever and ever and ever makes sense to me. With that said, I do think like a filibuster and having the ability to filibuster is a pretty important thing in a democratic system. But yeah, I mean, if you have both sides that are just like literally walking out and not doing their job, that's pretty untenable. There needs to be a better solution.
Vote. And at the same time, I'm looking at this other House bill, and I'm saying, you didn't want me to vote on that. And so I'm going to take this stand, and hopefully the people agree with me.
Republican Senator Daniel Bonham is one of 3 senators who hit 10 unexcused absences. He and other Republicans have been protesting partisan bills involving gun control, abortion, and gender-affirming care. Bonham says for him, House Bill 2002 was the main
So the people want gun control. The people want gender-affirming care. People want abortion. Nope, nope, nope. My book says no. I got a magic book. Says no. So I'm not going to do the work of government. Right. So you're going to obstruct government until it's just completely, not working. This just grinds to a halt. Yep. Because of God.
Reason he walked out.
Are we being responsive to voters who said we really need more freedom with respect to how we deal with abortion?
And this is why we need non-voters to get involved, because he's right. He's like, yeah, my constituency wants this. My constituency wants the government to grind to a halt until it's a theocracy. That's what my constituency wants. And this is why we need to challenge this. If we allow our democracy to descend into this because of apathy, because we're just not participating, and we let the most extreme elements of society take over with a Democratic majority because only 20% participated, we kind of get what we deserve, don't we? We need to have a democratic challenge to these psychopaths. They see a school massacre and they're like, it's not the guns, it's mental health. Okay, what are you going to do about mental health? Not a goddamn thing.
Abortion and transgender affirming care. I think that's something that nobody heard about during the campaign, and now all of a sudden is conflated with this issue. But both.
Once again, Davey, it sounds like you're trying to make an argument against this. Then you're presenting evidence as to why we should have something like this in there.
Move parental consideration, and I think that's the part that I have the most heartache with.
Yeah.
He says a majority.
A parent should have control over a child's sexual identity. That's only right. Yeah, there's no negative ramifications from a dad forcing his son to not be gay or daughter not to be gay or trans. Parents should have the ability to just put their foot down and say, nope, you didn't catch the gay. No.
Majority of constituents in his district around the Dalles area support of his walkout.
It's probably 20-1 right now. People in support saying thank you for standing up, thank you for protecting our rights, thank you for standing up for our kids.
With 10 unexcused absences, Measure 113 now disqualifies Bonham from running for re-election. But he says he still plans on running for re-election in 2026 and will challenge the new law in court.
If you're going to tell me I can't run, I'm ready to challenge it because I don't think that ballot measure 113 is constitutional.
Democratic.
There it is. And like Davey said, he'll get himself a nice friendly judge to strike it down, and it's right back to the goddamn grinding obstruction, right? Oh, I don't care if it's a Democratic decision, the state of Oregon. I don't care if the state of Oregon outvoted me on gun control. I want massacres. I demand gun anarchy. And to answer your question, Draven's the debate is basically right-wingers saying, being disingenuous and saying that, left-wingers want to take their kid and, at the age of 5, right, and do gender-affirming surgery and forcefully convert their kids. And that's not the case at all. What actually happens is a doctor has lots of interviews and there's a whole process going through. Okay, and then they find out, okay, this child has gender dysmorphia, and they need treatment. They need hormone treatment. They need psychological treatment. They're going to have a very confusing time for the next couple of years. And Republicans, they just want to say, no, gay doesn't exist. No, transgenderism doesn't exist. And if you think it does, you're sick in the head. You need to have your head checked. You need to be forced into conversion therapy. Got any job for me yet? I need a ball massager. So I can't show this whole video, but we've been talking a lot about, gun restrictions, and now I'm going to throw a wrench into my argument. One sec here. I'm going to throw a wrench into my own argument because I don't believe in a total gun ban. I believe in restricting ownership of assault weapons, weapons of war of any kind, bazookas and tanks and things like that. But I would never get in the way of America's hunting culture. I would never get in the way of one's ability to defend themselves. Especially when you know, not everyone's Jackie Chan, not everyone's running around fully trained warrior ready to take on what may come. There are old people, there are infirm people that are victimized by bad elements of society. There's an old person, there's an old guy who lives in that house. He's totally alone. I know it. I see him take his trash out. He's in there. He's totally alone, in there all day. He's 80 years old, bro. We can break in there and have no problem. In this case, the man was not only elderly, but did not have, he was missing a leg. He was missing a leg. And with a pistol, he was able to prevent himself from getting hurt or even in some cases killed. No, I don't, Kyler. No. I don't think assault, automatic, assault style weapons, whatever you want to call them, I don't think they have any place in a civilian's hands, and they should be restricted. Pistols, shotguns, and hunting rifles, that's a whole other story. And let me tell you, grand majority of lefties, of neoliberals, of pro-gun control lefties, they don't want a complete gun ban. They don't want literally every, they understand that we live in a violent society. There are people that hunt. Only if you want your meat to be completely destroyed by a cartridge that has a caliber that's way out of line for killing a deer. Why would I use a cartridge that shreds the meat? Right? Because that's what you're using these assault style weapons for. You're firing bullets that shred the meat and kill people as quickly as possible. Why would I use that weapon to hunt a deer with? I want to eat the deer. I don't want to just kill the deer and move on like it's a mall shooting. Anyway, there is a salient. Yeah, okay. You're doing the Second Amendment boogie. What's an assault weapon? What's the classification of this? What's this? What's that? Assault style weapons need to be banned. Banning assault style weapons works. It reduces the amount of violence. Stop with the definition boogaloo. It's not a clip, it's a magazine. No, you're not allowed to have an opinion about gun rights unless you know every single thing about guns. Enough. Stop. I'm trying to make a pro-gun argument, and I have a fucking gun nut in here shitting on it. They automatically, even when you're making a pro-gun argument, they are attacking you as if you're trying to ban all guns. You can't even agree with Second Amendment fuckheads without them starting to gaslight and ask these ridiculous fucking questions that are debunked a million times. What's the definition of an assault weapon? They can use lower caliber bullets. I should be able to use an assault rifle when I hunt deer. No, bitch, pull back a motherfucking, you use a fucking, what do they call them? Bolt action rifle. Quit being a pussy. Quit trying to pretend like you need 30 fucking bullets in a motherfucking magazine to shoot down a fucking deer. If you can't hit the deer in the heart with one shot, you fucking suck, and get the fuck out of the tree. I used to shoot deer, no problem. Hit him one shot, my bolt action rifle, pow, right in the heart, drop him, take my deer home. If you're not able to do that and you need a bang, 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 you got to fill your deer with a motherfucking bunch of shots, get the fuck out of the tree. You're not a hunter. You're playing target practice with good meat, with good fucking meat. You're not a hunter. So anyway, I do think that there is a salient argument, that there is a smart argument. As long as the violence and if the mental health and violence situation is not going to be fixed in America, people do need the ability to defend themselves. People do need the ability, if the society is not, if they're not going to do anything about the mental health, if society is just going to get more and more dangerous, old people, infirm people, women, single mothers need the ability to defend themselves from the elements of society that would victimize them. They exist. lefties, liberals, the crooks, the robbers, the thieves, they exist. Okay, I don't care if your shit's never been stolen. It happens. And here's an example of exactly what I'm talking about. I can't show you the whole video, but this young man is breaking into this older person's home. And yeah, Draven's low. I totally agree. Okay, so this old man, he has an artificial leg. He's one-legged. I don't think he's, you know, I don't know if he's in his 60s or something. I'm not sure how old he is, but you know, he ain't no spring chicken. Okay, so he's hearing a commotion. This guy is actually breaking in, I think, to this door right here, but he's running over to this window to see what's going on. This is in Brazil, by the way. So he hears this other guy breaking in. Misses the first shot, and oh, I shouldn't have shown you that, but I won't show you the blood. But he's able to, you know, he's like getting beat on. He's getting beat on, and he's able to fire a shot and stop the assault. And the guy, spoiler alert, the guy slumps over and I think later died. Dravenslow, the left needs to respond to the school shootings. Okay, you're not making school shootings political by seeing a problem and then offering up a solution especially a solution that has worked in other places. Assault weapons bans have worked in America, and they've also worked across the pond. So you're not hurting the conversation by saying, "Hey, there's a thing that actually works, and we should do it." That's not a lefty politicizing a school shooting, for like political points. There's absolutely nothing wrong with someone on the left saying, we have a school shooting problem. There's a real solution. Let's implement it. That's not them politicizing it. You know what is politicizing it? Seeing a school shooting, saying, the problem isn't the thing that was used to kill all those kids. That's not the problem. Problem is mental health, and I'm not going to do anything about mental health. Dravenslow, since when does any solution absolutely fix everything, and then we can't try it? Just because there will still be violence after an assault weapons ban, we can't do it? What about the fact that violence with assault weapons goes down when you ban assault weapons? Every single fucking country that bans assault weapons, less violence is committed with assault weapons. Oh, it doesn't fix all the violence. So we shouldn't try. Yeah, okay. You're trying to both sides this when it's very clearly one side sucking the dick of the NRA and the other side failing to present any kind of real political alternatives. Right? Assault weapon bans work. Okay, and just because it doesn't fix the entire fucking problem doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. What an absolutely ridiculous argument. Oh, we shouldn't have a law against, stealing stuff from stores because people still shoplift. It didn't fix it all. It didn't fix the shoplifting problem. Why would we have a law against shoplifting? It's a shitty argument. Moving on though. I just wanted to express though that it's more complicated than just literally banning every single gun. If we're gonna ban all the guns, but we're not gonna do anything about the mental health and also just the general nature of violence in society, the violence in the zeitgeist. If we're not gonna do anything about that issue and we're just gonna remove guns, then the right wing argument of you're just creating more victims is rather true. And it's kind of shitty here in Canada, right? Because if someone were to break into my home and I had a gun and I used a gun to, get this guy who was like coming after me or coming after my wife or something, I could go to jail for having an illegal weapon and using it to commit a murder. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. And a lot of Canadians are not down for that. There's a lot of grand majority of Canadians, you know, especially in Alberta, you know. I mean, El Rakabi, welcome back, by the way. El Rakabi, it's a little different in the UK because even the cops are not allowed to have pistols. I think that might have changed, though, actually. After there was some thing in the 80s that happened. Maybe that's not true. I don't know. Anyway. I'm just trying to say it's more complicated. And I love how we have the Second Amendment bad actor, even when I'm trying to make a pro Second Amendment argument. Oh, what's the definition of an assault weapon? He was going right down that path. Oh, assault weapons can have different cartridges. I should be able to use an assault weapon to hunt deer. Holy shit. I'm trying to fucking help you. I don't know why. I'm just trying to point out that there's, you know, it's more complicated than just banning all the goddamn guns. Oh, what's the definition of a gun? What's the definition of this? What's the definition of that? Can I show this? Yeah, I can show this. Okay. It's like they're robots, you know? They just kick into it automatically, you know? Well, you're going to ban all guns. You're going to ban all guns. Even while I'm making an argument as to why we shouldn't ban pistols. Oh, you're going to ban all guns. It's just, go away. I'm done talking to the gun fucks. The people with a gun square up their fucking Minecraft. You know? You literally can't even give them an argument of like, you can't even give them a pro-gun argument. So, but here is an anti-gun argument. This security guard just stone cold smokes this dude with a pistol. The gun stuff and the violence and the mental health stuff, they need to be addressed at the exact same time. If we remove the guns without the violence, that's terrible, right? And I guess it's a better scenario to remove the violence out of society and keep the guns, but it's a massive problem and they both need to be tackled at the same time.
Protesters with signs reading, "We saw the tape, Banco was murdered." This is that tape. Last month, a security guard at a San Francisco Walgreens is shoved, then fights with 24-year-old Banco Brown, who was suspected of shoplifting. At one point, the guard puts Brown in a chokehold. Moments later, near the exit, Brown appears to move toward the guard, who raises a gun and fires one shot, killing Brown. The district attorney said this.
This is pretty important. They get into this scuffle. He's like, talking shit. He does his little, so this right wingers are pointing to this little fake juke move that he does as stand your ground justification. And then homie just literally pulls out the fucking heater and stone cold square mass center right in the center of his chest. Single shot, homeboy drops flat, dead. Right? Security guard, bro, what are you doing, security guard? Right? Like, he's leaving, he's talking shit, right? Okay, his ego is hurt. And then dude just like, nah, I'm defending myself. Smoked. We cannot allow this behavior, mentality to become normalized in America. This is the purge. This is what the purge looks like. We cannot allow this. They didn't allow it in the Wild West. Why are we allowing it at the fucking Walgreens?
Fires one shot, killing Brown. The district attorney said this.
We arrived at our conclusion that we were unable to proceed with criminal charges.
Yeah. And in San Francisco, he's getting off. That was the DA there. That was the DA saying, we're not going to charge him. We're not going to charge him. Not even,
Conclusion that we were unable to proceed with criminal charges.
Thank you, Kyla.
Protesters furious that the tape appears to show an unarmed Brown shot over drugstore items.
I shared in that reaction. But as I said, as a prosecutor, I could not stop there.
DA Brooke Jenkins says this case goes beyond the tape. Her office releasing the police interview of the security guard, 33-year-old Michael Anthony.
So when I went for the item, she attacked.
Anthony says he told Brown, who the DA identified as a transgender man, that he was going to let him go. Anthony misgenders Brown during the interview.
Once I let go, I stood back because the whole time we were wrestling, she was saying that she was going to stab me. And that's what really put the fear in my heart.
Anthony says he had his weapon in hand when the
This was an ego thing. He you know, I guess it's a transgender is a woman who is transgender as a man, identifying as a man, transgender man. But he was saying, you know, talking shit. Come on, man.
Struggle.
The pistol was on your hip. There was the person was leaving. They were leaving the incident. You know, you could have an arrest could have been made for them for physical assault. Cops could have tracked them down. You let the cops do their job. No, dude's ego was hurt, and now he's trying to get away with murder.
Ended near the exit.
Like Kyle Rittenhouse.
I didn't know what she was planning on doing, but turns out her intentions was to try to spit on me. And by that reaction, by her turning around and advancing towards me, that's when I lifted it and then shot once.
Police said Brown did not have a knife. In declining to charge, DA Brooke Jenkins says it would be hard to disprove self-defense.
We have to believe at the time that we file criminal charges.
No, the self-defense starts when the person is fleeing, when the person is leaving. That's the self right here. This is when the self-defense starts. So this is self-defense, right? This is self-defense right here. This is all justified self-defense. You're in a tussle, right? Even this, where the guy's like the security guard's picking up this person by the neck, dude. Look at that, you know, right off of their feet. This is all justified. This is all justified self-defense. This when they are leaving, when they are exiting.
Near the exit, Brown appears to move.
Exit. Okay, then. Okay, we got this aggressive. All right. And then backing off, retreating. That's not self-defense. That it used to be murder. In a court of law, this used to be murder. And now we're just accepting this behavior.
Deals with the perception that property crime is out of control. Police data shows a 23% year-to-year spike in the first 2 years of the pandemic.
And this is that neoliberal governing, neoliberals failing to have a solution that, that the authoritarians are waiting. Yep, can't wait. Yep, shoot people dead. Shoot them dead. Shoot a shoplifter dead. Yep, you're going to spit on me. Die.
But overall,
and I'm not defending. I was spit on several times when I lived in San Francisco. I'm not defending it. I fucking hate it. If I was in front of the people that spat on me, I'd be tearing them up. Right? But it's not justification to shoot someone cold dead like
down
that. It's just not.
6% in 2022 compared to pre-pandemic levels in 2019. Activists say what happened to Brown is the symptom of a larger problem.
Banco was murdered because of his crime of being hungry. We know that Banco Brown was murdered for the crime of being homeless.
Okay, and then here come the lefties, right? We're not going to address the criminality. Do we know that every item that this person was stealing was food? Probably wasn't. Like this is kind of a problem too, where lefties make excuses instead of like, yeah, this is a problem. This is something we got to do. They come out with this shit. Oh, you're racist. You're anti-homeless. You're anti. If this person's just trying to survive. This person's a thief. We're not gonna address that at all. You just get a break, right? It's not the right way to handle it, man. People don't want to hear that. Oh yeah, they just committing crimes because they're ultimately a good person. It's like, well, come on, man. We're making a lot of judgment calls here. Person was committing a crime. Obviously didn't deserve a death sentence, but also doesn't deserve they're just starving. All the items that are getting stolen in these stores it's not just food. It's not just the produce aisle getting cleared out. Okay. And it's not just personal hygiene and like toothpaste and hair combs and shampoo either. It's not. Come on, it's not. Lefties need to have honest conversations about crime in the cities that they are, you know, in fully control of. They do.
And Aaron, I spoke with John Burris, the family's attorney, right after the video was released. He said that the security guard was the aggressor, that he created the confrontation, he had the weapon, so there was no justification for the shooting. He says,
holy shit, and here we go again. Jesus Christ, the Kyle Rittenhouse case is a complete miscarriage of fucking justice. Judge was completely motherfucking biased. You know, from a different perspective, Kyle Rittenhouse was the mass shooter to the Gage, the guy that was shot in the arm with the pistol. From his perspective, Kyle Rittenhouse just murdered somebody in cold blood and was walking down the road. You fucking people, man. You see an insane miscarriage of justice. I watched hours and hours of that trial. I have never seen a more biased judge in my life. I have never seen a more biased judge in my entire life. Did you know the judge threw out critical evidence against Kyle Rittenhouse because of the pinch and zoom feature on an iPad? A feature that was used in thousands of other cases that judge went through. And that's just one example. That's just one example. Draven's Law, and here you are admitting that you didn't follow it. Kyle Rittenhouse is a complete miscarriage of justice. And if we're going to allow that insanity to become precedent in a court of law, then we are all targets. We are all going to be targets of right-wing violence. Oh, they're coming for me. Shoot them dead. The judge absolutely threw that clip out. It was security camera footage, Davey. It was security camera footage showing what was happening. And that evidence was thrown out because of the pinch and zoom feature. And that's just one example of that bias from that judge. It was unbelievable. That judge did everything but give Kyle Rittenhouse a back rub and a high five on his way out. Holy shit, a miscarriage of justice if I've ever seen it. I'm not. I would actually like to proceed with this. Instead of defending a fucking murderer. Oh, he was innocent. He was innocent. Yeah, so was Michael fucking Jackson. Look at the police report of what they found in Michael Jackson's home. Look, man, that shit was a miscarriage of justice. Okay? Yes, it happens. That was not an honest trial. That was not an honest trial, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
Says the family is disturbed that there has been no prosecution, and they plan on filing a wrongful death lawsuit against the security guard, his employer, and Walgreens.
Okay? And we can't allow what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse to become the new normal, Davey, because it's insane. You're defending Kyle Rittenhouse and what happened, but you're also like ban all guns because that security guard did to Kyle Rittenhouse. He did exactly what Kyle Rittenhouse did. I'm in danger, pulls out a gun, wastes the dude. Stop chasing me with a plastic bag and calling me the N-word, wastes the guy. Another guy comes up to him with a pistol, doesn't fire it, just tells him to stop, shoots him dead, shoots him in the arm. Then the justified killing of the guy with the skateboard. All right, Davey, I'll take your word for it, man. I'll take your word for it. At least you actually know what I'm talking about. Most people don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about because they didn't watch the trial. And they just go, oh, well, the judge found him innocent. I guess it was a good trial. It was a miscarriage of justice on the level I have rarely seen before in my life. That judge should be disbarred. His bias was glaringly obvious. And this is just a follow-up. The DA releases this guy, right? You got to stand your ground precedent. Oh, well, Kyle Rittenhouse, Zimmerman, Zimmerman got to shoot Trayvon Martin. Well, I guess we could just kill people if we feel threatened now, just like the cops, right? Cops feel threatened, they just waste you. Yep. This is America, the new normal. New normal. And the guy who wants to ban all guns wants to set precedent, thinks the precedent that was set in law is a great thing, is that's justice. I don't know about great thing, but you're not arguing that it's not a miscarriage of justice. I've never seen a more clear miscarriage of justice than the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Anyway, moving on. Here we have oligarch du jour, Elon Musk, gaslighting about the Texas mall shooter with the swastikas. Gee, I don't know if the guy covered in literally swastikas and SS logos is a white supremacist. This man gets away with this kind of shit. Why do we let these people get away with this? And I'm not talking about physical consequences. I'm just talking about shaming. The guy had Nazi tattoos on his fucking body. Like, not even like the hidden crypto 42, whatever the fuck it is, right? Not even that shit. SS and swastika logos. And here's Elon Musk giving us his opinion, pulled right from his billion-dollar ass.
But, I mean, when you link to somebody who's talking about the guy who killed children in a mall in Allen, Texas, and you say something like it might be a bad psyop. I'm not quite sure what you meant, but...
Oh, in that particular case, there was somehow that's not that that obviously people were killed, but it was, I think, incorrectly ascribed to be a white supremacist action. And the evidence for that was some obscure Russian website that no one's ever heard of, that had no followers.
No, the evidence was a picture of him shirtless on social media talking about how he needs to kill all, fill in the blanks. Elon, you run the fucking thing. You run the social, you have the info, dude. There's no way he didn't see. Come on, you saw the picture. Come on.
And the company that found this is Bellingcat.
Right.
And do you know what Bellingcat does? PsyOps.
Right. I couldn't really even follow exactly what it was you were trying to express there, so that's in part why I was curious.
I'm saying that I thought the ascribing it to white supremacy was bullshit.
Okay.
And that the information for that
you still believe
came from
that?
an obscure Russian website and was somehow magically found by Bellingcat, which is a company that does PsyOps.
And there's no proof, by the way, that he was not.
There's no. I would say that there's no proof that he is.
And that's a debate you want to get into on Twitter?
Come on, Elon.
Yes. Because we should not be ascribing things to white supremacy if it's false.
Okay.
Wow.
But
wow, and his you know, the people that are investing in his products are really filled with confidence. Here's the other millionaire who is what is the benefit of gaslighting? What are we even trying to achieve here with you know, with doubting, oh, he's not a white supremacist. The guy covered in Nazi tattoos, not a white supremacist, not a white supremacist, he's not a white supremacist. Is there what would be the reason for these right wingers, Joe Rogan and Elon Musk? Don't give me that centrist bullshit. What would be the benefit of these right wingers gaslighting about this obvious right-wing terrorist? Gee, what is the reason? Why would we gaslight America? Oh, that isn't real right-wing. That's not how the right wing handle business. It is how the right wing handles business. The right wing puts on a MAGA hat with a fully loaded AR-15 and stands outside a bus stop to express their Second Amendment rights. Oh, but come on. Oh, he's not a real white supremacist. He just had Nazi and SS tattoos. An organization that does PsyOps put a picture out. Okay, is that picture verified? Is that a real picture? Yeah, it's a real picture. They didn't Photoshop it. They didn't Photoshop SS symbols on him. So tired. So tired, Dravenslow. You're falling into all these tropes, man. Rogan is 100% a conservative. Talking about how he wants to vote for Ron DeSantis. I haven't seen him correct that position, by the way. Has he come out and said, yeah, no, I'm now after all the book burning stuff and all the anti-trans stuff, I don't think I support Ron DeSantis anymore. Crickets. We've gotten crickets. Because we know who he's voting for. We know who Joe Rogan supports. Have you seen his social media accounts? Have you seen Joe Rogan's social media accounts? It looks like a 60-year-old boomer's Facebook. I feel sorry for you, Dravenslow, because you're biased, man. Joe Rogan is a fucking conservative. Stop buying the hype. Stop buying the hype that he's a centrist. Oh, he's the everyman. He's the everyman. Bullshit. Look at his social media. Bullshit. Joe Rogan is a fucking right-winger. I am so tired of the gaslighting. Oh, he has some lefties on his show. He has some lefties on his show. Okay. So did Bill O'Reilly. And I'm not saying Joe Rogan's Bill O'Reilly, but Joe Rogan's a right-winger. He supports right-wing policies. He supports right-wing ideas. He's friends and buddy-buddy with prominent right-wingers. He defends Elon Musk. I don't know what this video is. Hey, honey, I need some help here. Joe Rogan questioned the legitimacy of a march that took place over the weekend, suggesting that participants looked too suspicious to be white supremacists. So we're talking about those assholes in khakis, full march. I should have had it for the fascist update. I can't believe I didn't. But, they did a full Charlottesville march, Old Navy khakis and shirts and masks, right? Yeah, I think. Okay. Very difficult to have a political conversation and a son that is shitting himself and at the same time. It's very difficult. So yeah, so that's what we're cool with the gaslighting about white supremacy. Oh, he's just making fun of him. Okay. On Sunday, more than 100 members of the white supremacist group Patriot Front marched through the National Mall in Washington, D.C., wearing masks and holding upside-down American flags. Commenting on a video of the march during Monday's podcast episode, Rogan said, "Look at these guys. Where's the fat people? How come they're all wearing the same clothes?" He went on to ask, "Have you ever seen anything that looks more like feds?" Oh, they can't be right-wingers. Right-wingers want freedom. No way these guys are right-wingers. If he's pro-legalized drugs, then why is he supporting DeSantis? Pro-Medicare, but he supports right-wingers that destroy Medicare. Pro-raising the minimum wage? What a joke. When is the last fucking time Joe Rogan has talked about the minimum fucking wage? This pampered millionaire. Show me the clip of Joe Rogan talking about minimum wage in the last fucking 5 years. He is absolute 100% conservative. And here he is gaslighting. Oh, yeah, that Patriot Front. Oh, it looks like feds to me. Looks like feds to me. Those are the people that listen to you, Joe. Those are your fans, buddy. How many people in that Patriot Front march are Joe Rogan fans? Huh? Probably more than a few. I don't feel bad saying that. Right-wingers love Joe Rogan because he's a centrist. Oh, shit. Bullshit. This man is a right-winger. His social media shows it, dude. His social media is a direct fucking plug-in to what he actually thinks, not shit filtered through Jamie. Jamie, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. No, this man is a 60-year-old boomer on Facebook. Quote, how do they have all the little uniforms on? They have the same color pants for the most part. Very little variation. They're tan or brown pants. Dark blue shirts with a fucking stupid flag on it, Rogan said. All right. He's shitting on him. He's making fun of him. But he's also, in a way, gaslighting. He's this assumption. Well, they can't be right-wingers. It's obviously got to be some kind of psyop to take away our guns. No way it would be right-wingers who are pro-fascist, want an authoritarian government, and are marching for that. Yeah, of course they exist. But when I call it an agent provocateur, I have videos, right, of, you know, them at a march with police boots on, right? And they obviously got quickly dressed in civilian clothing, and we have some evidence. I have evidence. Does Joe Rogan have any evidence, or is he just talking shit? Oh, well, they look really organized. They look really organized and stupid. No way they're the right-wingers. Probably a psyop. Zero evidence. Complete ass pull. And I'm supposed to respect that? Oh, yeah, it must be a psyop. Is Charlottesville a psyop? Do we have any evidence? Dravenslow, you keep making excuses for this right wing. I don't give a shit that you're a fan. Okay? I've seen enough from Joe Rogan out of his own mouth, out of his own social media. I've seen enough of what Joe Rogan says and believes in to know 100% for certain that he is a right-winger. I don't give a shit that you're biased and you're a fan. Oh, I think he's great. I think he's great. I think he's great. I don't give a shit. All I see is what he said. That's all I see when it comes to Joe Rogan, is what he said. I've had enough. I've had enough of the gaslighters about Joe Rogan. Oh, he's a centrist. He's a centrist. I don't want to stop listening. I'm such a fan. I've been listening for 10 years. I'm a fan. I don't fucking care. He's ruined his fucking career. He's a right-winger. He's repeating, he gets on his social media, repeats right-wing memes, gets on his fucking show, repeats right-wing misinformation. Oh, it looks like a psyop to me. It's just a coincidence that all the right-wingers, are saying this about that Patriot Front March. It's just a coincidence that he falls in line with the right-wing narrative, right? Just a coincidence that he agrees with the right-wing narrative about the Patriot Front March. I'm sure he came up with that psyop idea. I'm sure that wasn't something he pulled off his social media when he woke up in the morning. Oh, yeah, what's my opinion on this? Oh, yeah, it looks like a psyop. Oh, that's funny. Some funny memes about this is a psyop. He's a fucking right-winger. Dravenslow, I appreciate your honesty. All right. You think we're done here? We're not done here. Strap in, clack on. It's everyone's favorite segment, the mass shooting update. Here we go, folks. Mass shooting update. How many people dead today? All right. 271 mass shootings in the United States in 2023. That's more mass shootings than there have been days in the year. 5,406 mass shootings since 2013. And one whole day since the last mass shooting. Over there in Kansas City, Kansas, 2 dead and 2 injured domestic victims, domestic-related murder, suicide at home, gunman unidentified, died from self-inflicted gunshot. I'm sure that gun was legal. San Antonio, Texas, 1 dead, 3 injured, probably a stand your ground, gunman unknown. San Antonio, Texas, another just same exact spot, just a couple days between. San Antonio, Texas, 0 dead, 4 injured, gunman unknown. Farmington, NM. God, I'm getting worse at these. Over there in Farmington, victims, 3 elderly women killed. Oh, 2 police officers among 6 wounded. Gunman was Bo Wilson, 18, armed with an AR-15 style rifle and 2 other firearms, legally purchased at least one just after turning 18, killed by police. 18-year-old legally bought a weapon, killed 2 elderly women, wounded 2 police officers and 4 other people. Over there in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, 0 dead and 4 injured, gunman unknown. Keep running. The murder rate, they solve less than 50% of the gun crimes in America. So keep running. You have a good chance, shoot something up, keep running. Detectives are trash. There you go, folks. That's everyone's favorite mass shooting update, brought to you, of course, by Garbage Fuel. Garbage Fuel is, of course, the #1 drink mix company in the world. Garbage Fuel would like to remind you that if you are offended by this segment, please do something about it. All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And there you go, YouTube. That is the update you get from the United States. Thank you so much. We're moving on to our good news. Thank God.